Breaking major season potentially changing news for the San Diego Padres. Yu Darvish has some elbow issues. We got to talk about what's going on in spring training. What's the implications for the season? What's going on, everybody? It's Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning in or tuning back in. For those of you that are new, this is the part of the show where I explain we are a new channel here to ride emotionally shotgun with you all season long and just sort of, updates, reaction, news. There's a lot of sources. There's a lot of things. Sometimes we're just here to be an outlet for you to listen to Padres venting because potentially there is some bad news coming this season, and Yu Darvish seems to be part of that. Let's go to the exact quote so that I am not misleading anybody about what we're talking about here. This from Kevin Acee of the Union Tribune talking about Yu Darvish in his season is in doubt as it was revealed Tuesday. He was shut down with elbow inflammation. At best, it seems that Darvish's first start would come at the back end of the rotation. The Padres want to preserve the 38-year-old. Okay, so elbow inflammation. Taboo, voodoo, evil words. Some of the worst words that you can utter around a pitcher or about a pitcher. But also, at the same time, vague. There are everything from best case scenario. I think he misses a couple of weeks. He relaxes, does his work, it builds back up. It wasn't really anything, just some kinks and bruises, and sometimes just a little pinching and inflammation happens. Whatever. Worst case scenario is Tommy John, done, cooked, gone for the season, over. Just count him out. He'll be there as an emotional leader in the clubhouse or whatever. I don't think that elbow inflammation, for as much as it is taboo words, because that is a possibility, I don't think elbow inflammation always means Tommy John. I think that there are enough options out there and opportunity. Like there's enough medical diagnoses that are possible for what inflammation could be that you don't have to always be the worst thing. But there's also enough treatments and reactions and ways to be like, oh, let's take this month off. Like we could see him in October. We could see him in September. We right now, what we need to do is just calm down and focus on what exactly are we hearing? And we are just hearing this. We are hearing that he's going to be out sort of indefinitely. We're going to get more medical information in the coming days. This is where I tell you again, subscribe, because I will consume all of that to get it to you so you can have it as background for whatever you're doing right now. And we appreciate all of you, like I said, tuning in. But look, let's talk about the fallout from this. Let's split it right in the middle. Say he misses like 2 months. Just getting his elbow sorted out, not rushing it, taking his time, getting back, doing his thing, getting ready. Do the Padres have a deep enough rotation to completely not worry about it? No, I don't think that that's at all. We've had a pretty good spring in terms of turning the Padres' pessimism into optimism. Nick Pivetta has been a great addition to the rotation, and if the 1-2-3 is Pivetta or is King, Cease, Pivetta, it's a pretty good team. Pretty good team. Maybe not a best team in all of baseball. Maybe not something like that, but if Yu Darvish is the piece that you are missing, but you still got that 1-2-3, and then a couple of other, sprinkle in. At this point, go with Matt Waldron, go with Randy Vasquez, go with Matt Waldron, go with Stephen Collette, go with Matt Waldron, go with one other guy. It'll probably then be Waldron at the 4, and someone else out of the 2, 3, 4 guys that are kind of separating themselves from the rest of the pack. We have all videos deep diving on all of that, so I don't need to go on a huge tangent, but to say it's probably Waldron, the knuckleballer, getting that 4 spot, which, okay, cool, kind of offensive reliant. You want to make sure that you're hitting consistently on that because probably those games are going to end up with some runs being scored by your opponents pretty consistently over the course of a season, but I'm here for it. Let's try it. Let's do it. Let's run it back. And then the 5 spot, it's I'd say 50-50. I'm being worried about that long term. I think that you have opportunities with, is Cease going to be dished? Is King going to go? Is there trade rumors on that? And we have other videos on our channel about that. I don't think that they're legit. I think that they are most likely spend the entire season as Padres, if not longer. Like King has that second-year option. Now Cease will probably restructure a deal later in the season. I think that where you do start to worry, though, is that if if somebody needs a little break and one of those Waldron or other people have to move up into the order, then you're talking about, like, okay, things are getting a little skinny. Things are getting a little dicey, a little worrisome, a little whatever you want to say. But missing out Yu Darvish past that 2 months, like that's where you get to be like, okay, we can no longer sort of hide this in a spot start here, something there. We got to address that this guy is not part of our rotation and moving on. What do we do? The Padres don't really have somebody at like the top of the minors right now that's ready to just be like the equal pitching wise contributions of Darvish, but also I think that you ask the question of like, what happens to his influence in that clubhouse? Because he's such a positive person to have for that pitching staff in terms of just his emotional clubhouse stability. From all the reports that we've ever heard, he's a people person. He's someone that everybody likes. His kid goes to high school here, and like, he's a community dude. He's in on this. He seems to genuinely love playing for the Padres right now and loves being a part of this squad. And you can justify still keeping him around. He's on the IL. He's hanging out as an assistant, like whatever. Like, you can have him there. But when a guy transitions from starting every 5 days, doing the routine, actively engaging on that, to passively engaging on that as a member of just the staff or the support or being peripheral, it changes the guy a little bit. It brings in also someone new has to take that spot. The dynamic is never exactly the same. So as much as you want to say he can still be there and you're only going to have to deal with the baseball side of it, I think that there's the two sides of this. Is very much this changes the dynamic. This opens up the competition for really who is the one. Is it King? Is it Cease? Is only one of them going to get a pitching extent? Like, there's some longer term, bigger picture questions to deal with. I think that one thing that this potentially you talk about is maybe this drives the Padres to, if this is a longer term issue, somewhere past that 2 months, 3 months, like if we're not going to see him until later or not at all this season, it brings the question to front, like, should the Padres base their rotation around King and Cease? We might be having, so maybe that's of all the takeaway of all of this Yu Darvish thing is that it's elbow inflammation. It's okay right now because we haven't heard the worst case scenario. So why waste our time stressing about worst case scenario? But let's also start having the conversation. Do we like King and Cease enough to make them a lethal 1-2 combo? How do we make that mathematically work? Does it require Xander going? Does it require X, Y, or Z other things happening? Come up with some reasonable ideas and concepts for it and start actually talking about that now rather than in the offseason because, Darvish is out. So we'll have the videos, ideas, concepts on all of that going forward. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. But you guys now jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Is it time to panic? Maybe I'm completely wrong there. What do you think that this impact could have on the Padres? Let me know, and we will get to discussing that in another video. So until next time, keep the faith, everybody. Talk to you soon, Padres fans.